Electronic FM Halloween show. This is 6.6 Hallows Eve. And I've been on the call.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to Corn on the Macabre. We have a pretty exciting guest here today with us. We have Mr. Scott Hansen. So, Scott, thanks the time for joining us, man. We really appreciate it. You've got a pretty exciting movie coming out. I think it's got a lot of people in the horror community excited. Everybody I talked to, it's been one of those that people mentioned that they're looking forward to. So, sure that's pretty exciting for you.
Yeah, man, we're super stoked to finally get it out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Excellent. Yeah, we've been looking forward to it, and I know a lot of other people have. Of course, if people don't know or know your name or think they remember hearing it, they probably know it from Bad Candy.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love a good Halloween-oriented horror anthology? I mean, not always are they the greatest all the way through either, but we thoroughly enjoyed Bad Candy. We really like that one. I think both of us actually.
There's not enough Halloween movies. That's what I was
yes.
saying. No. There's not enough.
Exactly.
You know, you give me 10 fucking Fast and Furious movies, and I can't get a Trick or Treat sequel.
Right?
Like
no shit.
One sequel. Like, you know, I don't get it. I don't understand how that works.
Me either.
Yeah, and it's funny because a horror film can pull a studio out of bankruptcy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that means shit. That means nothing to the fucking studio.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely
it's
nothing.
Jason, the last Jason movies, like 2009, like 17 years ago. Like they did 3 Halloweens and they broke records, even though I didn't like the last one. The first 2 were great. They're fun.
Yeah.
But it's like, why not just fucking make more? They're making crowd films. What is it? Never Hike Alone? They're making crowd films.
Yeah.
People want it. It's just,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't get why it's so hard to make.
And that is the reason that is the reason why Hollywood is dying right now.
Yeah.
It's like my manager tells me all the time. Hollywood is dying because they won't fucking listen to the fans.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, it's too expensive. I did my time in LA. I'm from Virginia. I lived in Wisconsin, went to school in Virginia, and then out to LA. Did my time in LA and got out just in time. And I'm in Atlanta making movies, and I would never go back to LA unless I was doing a music video or a movie. But
talk about Bad Candy real quick here before we get into Devour. And I want to devour that.
Yeah.
Corey Taylor. He's a friend of the podcast. We talked to him in Planet Comic-Con.
Hell yeah.
Last week.
Yeah, we got to talk to him at Planet Comic-Con. And
how did that come about? Corey Taylor
Corey was actually a replacement, which is funny. People don't realize he replaced another actor who died. Who I was really who was signed on, and broke my heart that he wasn't doing too well. But it was Sid Haig was the original.
Nice,
really?
I know.
Wow,
that would have been crazy.
Wow.
Sid Haig is like, for me, GOAT. I'm a huge Sid Haig fan, and obviously Corey replacing him was like just badass and cool and different.
Sure, absolutely.
But we locked him right before he did 3 from Hell. We were supposed to do Bad Candy, and Bad Candy was like ultra indie compared to 3 from Hell. But he liked the script and he was down, and we heard about the health issues. And I was kind of worried, and then obviously he passed away right after 3 from Hell, and I think he was replaced by Richard Brake, I believe, and they finished that, and then. But Corey was a replacement, and it happened to be. I had done some work, like my manager knew his manager, and one of those things. And I was like, I know he loves horror movies, and he's got the voice. And I fucking love Slipknot, and why not? Like, we need somebody. I did hit up Bruce Campbell, but we couldn't afford Bruce.
Yeah.
He loved it. He wanted to do it, and then we just couldn't afford him. But Corey was down. He dove into it, and he had a great time. And him and Zach Galligan were fans of each other, so that was kind of
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
I know.
So having Zach here was cool. He's in Atlanta, and then
Yeah.
they're fanboying out of each other. And I was loading Corey up with like gremlin jokes, and one or two of them made the movie, and we were just trying to throw
Nice.
Zach off. And it was
Yeah.
so
Sweet.
fun.
Sweet. I
Yeah. I think
love
one
that.
of the ones that made it in there was about feeding him after midnight, I think.
Yeah.
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 I haven't seen him for a long time. So either I just was not paying attention or maybe he just didn't do a lot of stuff that was normally, my cup of tea. But that was a cool seeing him back on screen. It's always wonderful to see somebody you feel like you haven't seen for a long time and just naturally fall into things and be happy. Zach
Yeah, I
fit
think I
right in,
watched
so that was
Gremlins
cool.
like 1,000 times.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It was like the kids horror movie. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
if you really look at it from a parent's point of view, they shouldn't be watching that.
No.
No. Yeah. I'm not
Yep.
sure. Yeah. Going back and watching it, you're like, this is not necessarily kid friendly but
Yeah.
It's not.
I
Not
feel
at
like
all.
it worked.
the same 10 movies were always on. It was always like Goonies, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Ghostbusters. It was like the Thing, Aliens, like stuff I was not supposed to be watching when I was like
Yep.
5 and
Right.
6. But I loved it.
Hell yeah.
And
Yeah. I
then,
was.
but you're forgetting Bats. Remember
Yeah.
Bats with Lou Diamond Phillips? The
We-
only reason I bring that up is we interviewed Lou Diamond Phillips, and that was the first question I asked. Let's talk about Bats. We're talking to Lou Diamond Phillips here. For
That's
God's sake.
awesome.
I'm like, and he loves Bats.
Hell
And
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, you never know how somebody feels, feels about wanting to go back to that.
Yeah.
If it's a black stain on the resume and they're like, yeah, it wasn't the greatest time, but I
Yeah.
need the paycheck or whatever. But he
Hey, why not?
totally loved it. So it was exciting talking to
Yeah,
him and just seeing him, enjoy it and kind of geek out a little bit with us. So, and mentioning Corey, and then you guys say, your managers, and you mentioned a little bit how doing music videos. So you did music videos that I wasn't even familiar with that you did, but I've seen them because I really love Seven Dust, actually.
Yeah.
A big
So
fan
do I.
of Seven Dust, and I'm actually a big fan of Maylene and the Sons of Disaster.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not too many people actually know that band very well.
Yeah. They're great.
But they're fantastic. A buddy of mine, we went and saw them in Omaha
Hell
years
yeah.
back, probably right around when their second album dropped, maybe, or right before.
Yep.
I can't remember. But because, it's not like they're a huge band quite yet
Yeah.
or anything. They were all hanging out outside. So we actually accidentally ran into them outside and got to meet all the guys and got to meet Dallas, their singer, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. They were at
Dallas is cool.
group of really cool guys. So, but that kind of like just going through stuff, I was like, holy shit, Scott directed these music videos that I'm completely aware of
I put
and had no
Trejo.
idea.
Yeah, I put Danny Trejo in their video.
Yeah,
We killed him with
yeah.
a chainsaw. And that was the first rock video. I was like, that was a cool day because I was like, they were like, what are we doing? I was like, doing a metal video. Like some hot cheerleader is going to kill you. And he's like, his manager's like, I think he'll enjoy this. I was like, he will. He will. It's for a band that's like Southern rock and they're cool.
Yeah.
The song's great. And I think the song's called Open Your Eyes. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was fun, man. That was a fun day shooting with Trejo. I'd already worked with him once before, so that was my second time. So
Nice.
he's a super cool guy down there.
Nice. Bad Candy was the first movie that like I associated you with, the first thing that I knew of. And watching from at the time what I thought would have been, close to your first project, but obviously you've worked on a bunch of other stuff. But it was one of the first things I remember thinking about Bad Candy. I was like, damn, this looks really good. Like the cinematography is actually really cool. The shots are really great. Like
Thank
they're
you.
not always just they're not your stereotypical, all right, we're gonna set up here, this is what we're doing, because it like I said, it's for all filmmakers, it's a journey. So hats off to you for Bad Candy just looking extra phenomenal.
And Bad Candy has such a mean streak.
Yeah.
It does, wouldn't it?
And I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
it's-
like pace wise, when we get into the bit with the ex military guys
Yeah.
and what they're doing, and we get the vampire bat demon guy,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
it
yeah.
seems like that really
Right.
like we turned the knob to 11 like when that specifically started, and we really didn't let up for the rest of the movie. It's get like
Oh, yeah.
increasingly more
Yeah.
gory, and yeah, that was It's one of my favorite sequences in the whole thing. I love that.
And one of the things I love is when a film makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We go to the morgue and the naked dude on the slab. How was it shooting that? Like a naked dude on the slab in the morgue and
Yeah.
hot.
That was fun. I mean, I personally like I love to put actors in weird situations. I just that's my thing, I guess. And I can't wait for you to see Devour because holy shit, that's just like times 30. Some of the shit we did in that movie. But yeah, no, putting that John Wilkins, that was the guy's name. He's a great actor friend. And then Haley Leary was the girl doing the necrophilia scene,
Yeah,
which
the
a
hot
lot of
chick.
people were like weirded out by. Nah, I just thought it was hilarious, just that whole setup and, what would happen if you took some wrong candy, at a little party and you worked at a morgue and you thought this person was real and you were kind of lonely and, just got weird from there. And
Yeah.
It
yeah,
got weird. It got weird. All right.
yeah. This bad candy opens up the universe because Devour is in that
Yes.
same universe. It's like,
Yeah.
we have like 5 movies written about New Salem.
Nice. That's
But
awesome.
that's Bad Candy was the first, Devour is the second, and then it gets into, there's, another one we're starting on now called How the Night Receives Them, and that's kinda like a ghost story, kinda
Nice.
anthology.
Nice.
So this is
Nice.
different, but same fucked up town, just a
Right?
crazy town, magical
Yeah.
town.
It's cool seeing the Virginia bitches posts
Yeah.
in the bathroom. And we were going to ask you about was this interconnected universe something you had created beforehand, or did it kind of
Yeah.
like? So that's
Yeah,
cool hearing that it's all one interconnected universe
yeah.
in this town.
I'm a huge Marvel fan, I think, Marvel fan. I love how like just movies connect. Like when I left LA, I was just like I just wanted to make my own weird movies. I didn't want to work
Yeah,
for a studio. Like Bad Candy's like $125,000 budget. It is a tiny movie.
Yeah.
125 grand is like nothing to make a movie.
yeah,
And that's just because, I had some gear. I saved up, making all these metal videos and Meshuggahs and Seven Dust and Animals as Leaders and Ice Nine Kills and all kinds of shit over the years. And I just kind of started saving gear and I'm like, I just kind of wanted to make my own weird world, that was kind of fun. And I'm a little over the top obsessed with Halloween, maybe too much, like psychotic. Do you see my
that doesn't.
house? It's like,
That's not such a thing. No
it's
such thing.
my house and the power bill for, I started in September, so I'm like early. We're putting that shit up
Heck
early
yeah,
just to fuck with everybody. But yeah, no, I'm just a massive Halloween fan, and yeah, there's a 5 movie plan, and you will see
sweet,
those guys, the military guys with the bat. They come back later, so
Yeah.
sweet.
well,
Yeah,
they're
I
still
noticed.
around.
Yeah, I noticed that the bat in A Bad Candy and in Devour look pretty similar.
They're
They
different. They're similar, but
okay,
they're different.
that's
Yeah,
cool. They remind me of the main vampire in the second Underworld movie where he's
yeah,
all kind of,
Oh,
batted out. I think that cool. I love that design. I think that design's really
love
cool
that
and
design. I
yeah,
love
it's beautiful
Underworld.
looking.
Yeah,
so with Devour, I have to ask you. I saw, in the trailer, I saw a friend of mine in the trailer.
hell
Yeah,
yeah.
that would be John Wells.
Yeah, John Wells.
Yeah,
Shit. You know
uh,
John Wells.
I know, yeah, because I'm in the Midwest now, but I born and raised here. But for the past 23 years, I lived in Cincinnati, Ohio, and
Yeah.
he's from Kentucky.
Yep.
We've worked together, and I love John. He's
He's
an amazing
great.
amazing
So
human.
down to earth.
Oh
Love
yeah,
that guy. He has so much fun in Devour.
and I bet he's such a gracious human being. I mean,
He's so cool.
he is. Yeah, he's very cool for sure.
Already the distributor, because we had the same distributor as Terrifier. That's who we
Nice.
signed with. So they're like, I know Terrifier is like on the way out after 4. So I'm like, hey, what's up? Give us some real money. We can keep it going with the chaos. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of why I wanted to create a world, and I love Terrifier, so I'm just a fan. But I'm like, we need more of that. There just needs to be more.
Yeah, I think although we haven't seen it fully set in yet, I think it's definitely starting to move. Terrifier 3 was kind of a big shift for Hollywood and independent horror. It can be done. There's films that people will go out to see, especially in the horror genre, as we already talked about. Horror makes money always.
Yeah,
Always, always,
always.
always.
Yeah, because we had Terrifier 3 and that kicked the door open. Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But then Markiplier came out with Iron Lung and ripped the door
Yeah.
off.
Yeah,
So,
that
Yeah.
made like $48-50 million.
Yeah.
yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
Crazy.
So, yeah, those two movies right
That's
there.
the power of YouTube right there too, seeing a
Yeah.
YouTuber. And then
Yeah.
you got the Backrooms guy. He just had
Ooh.
his movie with A24.
Yep. Yep.
You know, like I see a lot of the shift into the personalized studios, and that's kind of where I'm trying to be. We make our own stuff. We have a little bit of a fan base, and we do some crowdfunding a little bit to get it out there, and then it's just like release. And I know with Devour, we're getting like 200 theaters to start.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And in August or late July. So that's a start. That's great for me. And
Absolutely.
we're
Yeah.
trying to get more now. And, it's just as the time goes, I'm hoping to at least get to a couple hundred more, maybe if we're lucky. So yeah.
Yeah, as long as you get a theater and
Somewhere for
Yeah.
us, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the
100%.
Midwest definitely gets some stuff, but if it's a limited release in our area, we have to travel.
Chris Jericho messaged me and asked for a
Nice.
screener. And I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
what the fuck? Why is this guy? I remember him from Terrifier 3. And then
Yeah.
he watched it and loved it, and then he flew to Atlanta and shot a whole podcast in person with us, and we were like
That's
blown
awesome.
away. And
wow.
I was just
That's
like,
awesome.
then he sent it off to Eli Roth, and I'm like, oh man, that's crazy.
Hey,
Wow.
Wow, that's cool.
Randy and I are chomping at the bit to talk to you about the Werewolf and Devour
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we're both massive werewolf fans. It personally, it's
yeah.
my favorite monster creature movie.
Me too.
Monster. I love werewolves. It's been my number one love thing since I was a kid. And it originally, what's really funny is it's been maybe a year ago, roughly,
Yeah.
around about this time last year. I think you guys had specifically put up or added to the campaign for people to specifically come and get killed by the werewolf.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was, I was
That
like,
was
Randy,
hilarious.
I know we're broke right now, but if we could
Yeah.
just make our way out there, it would be really cool to get murdered by this massive, badass looking werewolf. And so
Yeah, and
we'd
I'm
actually
sure.
worked on trying to make it out there, and it wasn't in the cars, and it was kind of sad. But we had
Yeah.
talked about it at that time, being like, man, let's go get killed by a werewolf. That sounds amazing.
And
So
I'm sure that's
there's
coming
more.
from that,
I'm sure that's
Yeah.
the bar scene, correct?
Yeah.
yeah,
They're
We
like,
yeah.
call it the berserker scene. It's yeah, I've already had a few projectionists reach out to me and be like, "Hey, this is the most kills in a werewolf movie ever." And I'm like,
Yes.
"Fuck yeah, that's awesome."
Yeah, I
Like,
think you
not
guys
that we
had
were
said like,
counting, but it was
right?
cool.
Yeah. I think I remember hearing maybe you or somebody else from the movie said it was like close to 40 people
Yeah, it's
that
like
get
43.
Great.
I think it's like
insane.
43 and like I want to say like 120 seconds, like 3 minutes, 2 minutes,
That's
3 minutes.
amazing. You could put that movie, that 3-minute sequence, and if it's werewolves just ripping people apart, I would go pay full theater price for it. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We took like I think 11 days to film that scene because I had we shot during the SAG strike, so a lot of the stunt people were like bored, and I had a lot of
Yeah.
friends that worked on like Infinity War, Black Panther, and I was like, "Hey man, I know you guys are sitting on the fucking couch. I got this 12-foot werewolf, and I need to throw like all these people through walls and rip their heads
Yeah.
off." And so I had like amazing stunt people who were just homies that I've worked with before on other
Nice.
projects. And I was like, "Hey, come out, help us out." And because usually those people I would never be able to afford them, but like we had the bar set and like all these false walls built and like just a super cool set. And it just, when the werewolf comes out, she goes nuts.
That's
And
awesome.
you see it like we don't shy away from anything, and there's not a lot of like close-ups or anything. You see the whole suit
Oh,
in
good.
action. And when
That's
she's
awesome.
running outside and she does go to all fours at once, it's pretty cool. I
That's
remember just
awesome.
filming it a couple times, because I shot that whole scene and directed it, but, like, I'm, like, filming it, and I'm, like, looking up, and I'm just like, yeah, forgetting to focus because 'cause I'm like, "It's so fucking crazy looking." I'm like she's, like, 12 foot tall coming at me, and here I am trying to get shots of the legs, and I'm just like a little kid, looking at it.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just so cool, and we had Wayne Anderson build the suit, who he won Face Off a couple times. He
Yeah.
did,
Yeah.
Jurassic, World, he Avatar 2, and, The Predator. He did the 2017 Predator, he did the face, the whole thing. And
Oh
Nice.
then,
wow.
Nice.
he did It, 2017, the teeth and the
Sweet.
face.
Okay.
So he's
Yeah.
like world renowned
Yeah.
artist, and I hit him up on Bad Candy, like, I was just a fan because that's all he wanted Face Off, and here I am messaging this guy cold call, never met him, and I'm like, "Hey, man, we need a bat suit. I don't even know where you're at, if you're in LA or whatnot. We need this crazy bat suit for this," shot out to, like, an Aztec warrior scene where they let the prisoners run and throw spears, and he was like, "What the fuck? That's awesome." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, and it's on Halloween. It's just weird." And, he's like, "All right, well, I'm almost done here with Jim, and, if you fly me out, I'll help you out." And I'm like, "Jim, okay, cool. Which Jim are you talking about?" And he's like, "James Cameron." And I'm like, "Oh my fucking God. That's amazing. Like, you're hanging out with Jim.
Jim.
Jim, that's so cool." And so we flew him from New Zealand, which was crazy. He was at Weta, which is like, the
Jeez.
GOAT, Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was working there on Kate Winslet's Avatar face. Like, he was doing all her maquettes for Avatar 2. And yeah, he came out and did the suit, and now we're buddies. I'm like, man,
That's awesome.
I never thought he'd hit me back. I was like, this is our
Right.
budget. We need to murder all these people with pumpkins on their heads. And he just thought the scene was so weird and crazy. Um,
And he
and he
was
came
right.
out and did it. It was
That's
fun.
awesome.
So
That scene is weird and crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
I
you just
love it.
never
That's
know. Like
fantastic.
I look up to, like, big effects people like Steve Wang,
Oh, yeah.
Nicotero, all
Oh,
these
yeah.
people have always loved their makeup. Savini, Rick Baker, like Harry and the
Oh, yeah.
Hendersons. I
Yeah.
just
Oh, yeah.
watched again the other day on VHS just to
Yeah.
see all the weird commercials. I love that shit. But yeah, no, Wayne was incredible, man. He came through, and on Devour we hired him properly. We had like 7 months of pre-production with him, and I put half of the budget of Devour into Monsters because I
Yeah.
was like, I was just like, here we are, we have a little more budget on this than Bad Candy, and I was just like, we can't afford names, I can't really. Some horror movies, fall flat when they have like too many horror actors who I love, but they're washed up, and it kind of degrades the movie. I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes, and
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I hate to say that, but it's just when I see the Kane Hodder and the Bill Moseley and D Wall, there's like 8 of them in one movie. I'm like, I don't want to see that anymore. I just
Right.
want one of
Yeah.
them. But
Yeah.
I went without all of that and just really worked on casting, tried to get amazing unknown actors, and then put all the half of the money into monster suits. So we had a
I
bat
wish.
creature suit. We had a warlock thing that's like a shot out to Hellraiser that was like super
Sweet.
intricate with the face and the entire bodysuit. And then the werewolf, took the longest. Well, and then we
Yeah.
have a fucking minotaur. I don't know if you saw the trailer.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
minotaur
Yeah.
and this, and it's just like when we see the trailer, there's a lot in that trailer, but you'll understand why when
Yeah.
you watch it because it's like 4 chicks in a metal band who are vampires. They break down in a small town full of cannibals led by a warlock. And we were just like, what would make vampires like how can we humanize them more? Because you see all these vampire movies and they're all badass and nothing can hurt them, and they're always like, except for a blade situation. And we were like, well, if there's other magical creatures, like you got warlocks, you got a fucking minotaur, a werewolf, like you got people underground, a cult. So it's devours a lot of things in one, but the first act, definitely builds with the girls of Virginia Bitches,
Yeah.
and you kinda get a vibe for being in a band, which was fun, and I come from
Yeah.
that music video world. I used to be in a band, long time ago. So I love like all the jokes, just how hard it is to tour, and
Oh, yeah.
getting screwed over by the promoter, being on the road, So it's just the after that second act, it just goes like a million miles an hour for the
Right.
last 45 minutes is like just crazy action movie. Like, and if you love John Wells, you will really love John Wells because he kills so many people in this
Sweet.
movie, and he had so
Oh,
much fun.
I bet he did.
But
That
the werewolf is amazing. I think the werewolf and the Minotaur were both my favorite because it was just like just something. I'm a huge werewolf fan. I love
Yeah.
dog soldiers. We based the
hell yeah.
designs off dog soldiers and Underworld with the hulk of the body being strong, but like lengthy arms and the dog face kind of werewolf, kind of that kind of vibe. But yeah, May, her name is May. She's the female in this movie, but
Uh-huh.
she's mean. She's a mean one.
Oh, awesome. So yeah,
That's awesome.
this leads into my next question. Actually, how many makeup effects crews did you have on?
Three. I kind of like alternated them because we had a few sets that were crazy. We had like a 90-foot blood pool where all these people were on their
Nice.
hands and knees in this blood, and the warlocks in there, and it's just like, that was the whole thing. Just getting, you have 30 extras, and it's like, hey, what do you guys want to be on your hands and knees and 2 feet of blood in a
Sure.
pool? So we made a pond out of blood, and the behind the scenes are so funny with Devour because it's like when you pull up to the studio. This is where I have a studio in Atlanta. When you pull up there, it's like, yeah, what is that thing in the middle of the parking lot? It's a 90-foot, 2-foot blood pool, and like a haunted house. It was kind of, but um, it's all real, and everybody that got in there, you don't have to do a lot of acting at that point. You're on your hands and knees,
Yeah,
and
Right.
I get it.
it's yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we had a lot of makeup people for sure help out on this.
Yeah.
Very
Definitely,
I think it's always better. I mean, somebody could argue the fact of, well, if they're an actor, then they just need to act. And if they're really good, you can tell they're really good, between
yeah,
having a physical thing there to either look at or touch or be in, as opposed to it not being there or it being just some oblong, strange shape covered in green. I can't subscribe to the fact that, well, the actor can just pull it off, but there's just a level of genuineness that goes
yeah,
into be able to physically interact with something that, like, it's just going to make it a better experience for everybody from viewer to creator. It makes it genuine.
played off that hardcore. I grew up working in a haunted house. When I was
Nice.
13, I think I was 12 or 13, I made my own costume, broke into a haunted house in Virginia, and started scaring all the people that worked there, and I'm like, "Who the fuck is this kid with this crazy costume?" You're like, "Get him a job. This kid needs a job." And so that was my first job, is working at a haunted house, and
That's
it
awesome.
just taught me so much about, like, reactions and, like, people not seeing something and then being like, "Holy shit." And
Yeah.
we did that with, I think, 4 or 5 times in Devour, where I had the extras out there waiting for, like, 5 hours. I think it took to get the Minotaur suit on, almost 4 or 5 hours to get in the
Man.
costume, get the stilts up, and they're waiting, and I'm like, I know it's 2 a.m. We have 5 hours till the sun comes up, but please, you're good. Like, it's coming. And well, I had like 3 cameras ready to go, and we have this cave entrance for the Minotaur, and you just like, everybody's like, they're getting kind of pissy. They've been waiting and snacking and having waters and waiting for this damn Minotaur, and it's cold as shit out. And then we're like, all right, rolling, and then you just like see their faces when this fucking thing that is the size of the same horns from Legend,
Oh,
Tim
Nice.
nice.
Curry.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
we really went on the horns to be about the same size of the Tim
That's
Curry
awesome.
makeup from Legend. And when it comes out, man, there's 3 people that just fucking ran off the set and just kept going. And I was like, wait, no, like, stop! Like, you guys are, I can't see you anymore. And they were gone, but they came back. But I didn't expect them to just haul ass because when you see
Right.
her come out, and the way he moves is like, and there's an aerial shot from the trailer, and
Yeah.
that's money. But when you see it in person, she's almost 3 foot taller than the werewolf. Like that's how
Damn.
tall
Jeez.
with the
Wow.
horns,
Huge.
and she's
Wow.
in the full 3 foot hooves. So the guy's like almost 7 feet with another 3, 10, so 13. That first reaction is money sometimes, you know.
Now I really want to see this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I wanted to see it to begin with because the werewolf
Oh,
just
yeah.
the first shot that you released of the werewolf, I'm like, we
Yeah.
have
Oh,
to
yeah.
find it. So.
It's a really refreshing and wonderful thing to hear that, like, not only did you devote a good chunk of your budget, but most of your budget almost
Yeah.
to the creatures, because people don't get it. You can't do a monster movie if you're not going to put up the money to make the stars of the film, which is the monsters,
Yeah.
look amazing. Like 90% of independent horror films kind of fail that. I understand they're working in the constraints of small budget, which is not fun. There's no perfect way to do it. So like, and then sometimes, like Greg was a good example. Like we were talking to him about his werewolves, and you know, when they came in, he was kind of like, it's not exactly what I wanted. And there's always that, because you can't guarantee you're going to have extra money to go with something else. The fact that you were like, we're devoting half of this to the monsters, because if you're watching a movie like that, yeah, we're watching for everything. I mean, but you're watching the monster. You want to see the monster. And horror fans are a tough crowd. Not that, you know, we're hard sells, but like our eyes are really trained for that practical versus VFX stuff. We zone in. We have a tendency to critique it pretty hard when it comes to that sort of
We
stuff.
do.
But it's because we're so starved for really good stuff. Like we said, we're huge werewolf fans. And if you go on Tubi, you know, and type in werewolf, you're going to get just a
Werewolf
shit ton of
movie.
movies. The only problem is those shit ton of movies really put the shit in shit ton, because I don't want to down talk anybody that made a film, because it's a personal journey, and I applaud anybody for going through it 100%. But that doesn't always mean the product is good. So I applaud anybody for making a film, but it's also okay for it to not be a good film, especially with werewolf stuff. You're lucky if you get 1 out of 10 that's serviceable. The major fail is the werewolf. Like some of this shit doesn't even look like it was done on Adobe. How does it look that bad? Like you almost would have to try to make it look that poor. When we originally saw this werewolf, we were like, holy shit, finally, goddamn, I wish people would listen. Here we are. And you mentioned Dog Soldiers, you mentioned Underworld too, but my immediate thought was a kind of a culmination of Howling Werewolf and Underworld Werewolf is the sense that I got. I mean, Dog Soldiers makes sense too, because they were big and you know, very dog like, you know, type of thing. But and the fact that
we
you went
drew them.
full
It was
suit,
cool. Yeah, no, I got to draw. I mean, I draw like I'm a, you know, have like thousands of drawings too. So I kind of draw all my storyboards. And me and
nice.
Wayne really, we drew the creatures. So like we spent months drawing the Minotaur, figuring out the werewolf, you know. And once we had the drawings down, then it was like he started sculpting. But it was like, you know, I'm just, you know, I love Bad Moon, you know, I love, you know,
Oh, thank God somebody mentioned
love
Bad Moon.
love Bad Moon, you know, I love that monster. And
So good. So good.
it's a fun movie. Like it's
I
just
don't
so
know
fun.
why I don't know why people dog on that movie. It is
I don't
literally
either.
like one of the best werewolf movies
It's
ever.
like top
it's
5 werewolf movies for me.
easily like
Yeah.
that werewolf is amazing.
On it. I think they dog on it because of the transformation.
Yeah,
Well,
the transformation. I mean,
pretty bad.
but I will tell you, if you like transformations, like we spent at least 5 days on ours, so it's very
Shit, we're getting a transformation too? God
It's
damn.
yeah, we had some people, I don't know, I don't wanna say what they were comparing it to, but they were like, "This is some crazy shit that we haven't seen since American Werewolf in London," and I'm like,
Dude,
"We're not
it's
worthy. You said that, not me."
it's
So
been so long since we've seen. They don't do transformations very often anymore in general, because
No.
you can't fuck with that. Either you got to focus on it or you just skip over it.
yeah.
But man, like every time it's been tried, it's just never, the Bad Moon is bad, but like
Yeah.
when Scream Factory put out their Blu-ray and they recut it, it looks a lot better because they cut
It
out some of the
does.
really like that weird ripple effect that was like
Yeah.
going
I
on.
want to say
But
our transformation is like at least a minute and a half, maybe longer. It takes some time.
damn,
Yeah.
which is a long time. It sounds like
Very
not a
good.
It's a
long time,
long
but
time.
on screen, that's a long time when you think about it.
Yeah.
People don't realize, how long a minute or two is on
Because the
screen, but
howling
that's
is
a
like
chunk.
howling's like 4 minutes or something.
Yeah,
It's 4 or 5 minutes. It's very long, but
yeah,
obviously now today's audience is you got to keep them entertained. So,
yeah.
Right.
Well, and I
but
think
yeah,
if you had done the whole, like if they had done the whole transformation for Howling
yeah,
altogether, there's like chunks in between where there's dialogue
yeah,
and stuff in between. Had they done the full transformation all at once, it probably would have been a lot shorter than the 4 minutes
yeah.
or whatever it takes. But I think you guys are gonna not only just hit horror crowds, but you're gonna hit a lot of subgenres that are really popular, like werewolves,
Yeah.
for instance, that are really starved for excellent content. From what I have heard, I'm gonna be blown away if this doesn't blow up for you guys.
I hope so.
Dude, it's ballsy as fuck to not only you're making a horror movie, but like you're grabbing multiple genres and shoving it all into one film, which is a
Yeah,
very tricky thing to do.
it is.
I'm hats off to you just even going with it and trying to fucking do that because
Yeah.
that sounds terrifying to just try to work through. That's
I
a
mean, I
lot of
tell
shit.
people like I just tell people like this is a movie I would love to watch, and
There
that's
you
kind of
go.
why I made it. And
Hell
I
yeah.
would, if I had to chalk this to anything, I would say it's like From Dusk Till Dawn, obviously
Yes.
heavily
Okay.
inspired from Dusk Till Dawn, meets Big Trouble in Little China. The
That's
weirdness of that,
yes.
and I love that's one of my favorite movies of all time. And if you mix that with like Near Dark,
Oh, dude.
Oh.
a
Fuck
very
yeah.
good vampire movie,
Yeah.
that is like the vibe, it's they're in a van, and he's the manager. He's been around for 900 years. The opening scene's crazy too if you're like things that happened in the past. So
Yeah.
there's a crazy opening scene. And Jerry, I can't wait to have you guys watch it, and then we'll talk about Jerry because his voice is amazing. Like just the way he handles the movie. He's just a weird guy and has the ultimate movie voice. But there's a lot of violence, There's the werewolf scene's crazy. The Minotaur scene is definitely like something I don't think anybody's ever seen before. Like what happens in it. It's pretty cool. So
That's
in the
awesome.
cave,
Yeah.
we spent 3 months building the cave. There's a
Damn.
500
Wow.
foot cave we built
That's
Wow.
just
amazing.
for the
Dude.
Minotaur and for the underground scenes. I don't know. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in this one for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
When you bring up Minotaur, I'm like, what's the last Minotaur movie I've seen or a movie
Yeah.
that had a Minotaur in it? And that has to be, like one of the Ray Harryhausen
Yeah,
Sinbad
exactly.
movies.
Yeah, like
Uh,
that far back. And I'm
yeah,
like,
Minotaur wasn't scary. So from
no.
what you're describing here, this is scary as hell.
Yeah, and it's like just crazy looking. No gender on this one. It's just a big motherfucker. Just seeing the reactions of the people that were there, that tells you everything. Like just in person, even on camera, it's beautiful, but in person, it's just like, whoa, what is that? Why is that running at me? I'm going the other way.
Yeah. Oh shit. I do have a question for you. It's kind of a
Yeah.
music question along with Devour. Metal / rock and horror have always been able to hold hands really well.
Love that.
Which is what you've done so far too in doing music and stuff like that. And then even in Devour, like part of the storyline is these vampires are in a band.
Yep.
I remember hearing a chunk of names music industry wise that were also going to
Yeah.
be in Devour, like Lejean and Randy Blythe and a couple other names. Elisa White Blues from, well, I guess formerly from Arch Enemy. I guess she
Enemy.
left. So are those guys all end up actually being part of the film too?
So some didn't work out, just a timing thing. Alyssa, we couldn't get her stupid passport to get across in time.
Okay.
Not passport, whatever you call it when you're Canadian, you have to come over here and work. It just made it harder.
Gotcha. Okay.
But we're saving her for later. That's all I could say that.
Nice.
So
Nice.
she's a part of stuff that's happening in the third film.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Randy, I couldn't get on his schedule. He's so busy. Randy from Lamb of God.
Yeah.
We tried to get him in. It was just impossible.
Yeah.
I love Lejean. Same thing. He didn't feel like he said yes, and then he kind of honestly backed out. But
Ah,
no worries. He just didn't
sure.
think he could pull off the acting stuff. And I was like, dude, you can't. You're on stage, but I get it.
Right.
Being on
You're a
stage,
performer. Yeah.
you're a performer, being in front of camera is different, and I love Lejean, and we still
Yeah.
talk all the time, and he had a fun little role, and it just, he just didn't feel like he was gonna be able to make it good, so I was like, "Hey, that's fine, man," like, so we replaced him last second.
Right on.
But yeah, I mean, we definitely went into it, like, I definitely learned some lessons that, having working with people who are in famous rock bands and stuff is really tough to get on their schedules, first of all.
Sure.
And then number 2, not everybody who's a performer is an actor, and if they're
Right.
on
Right.
stage,
Right.
Corey nailed it with a lot of work,
Yeah.
and
Very
dedication.
natural.
But
Yeah.
some people just don't. It just doesn't translate. So I know we announced a lot of that, and then I was like, well, shit, some of this isn't working out, so we had to go in a different direction with Lejean and Randy. But that's fine. Randy would have been fun. It just, man, that guy is busier than hell. Like I
Yeah.
still probably couldn't even get him down. But yeah, Alyssa is coming back. She
Nice.
when Alyssa dropped out, Heidi took her place. And if you haven't heard of Heidi Shepherd's
Yeah.
in the
From
Babies.
Butcher Babies. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a beautiful that was a beautiful accident. Like that was awesome, So she's great. And her energy in the movie is like just crazy over the top, like super fun.
Nice. Anytime horror and metal cross, that's like super fanboy moment for me. Two of my favorite things
Freddy versus
always come
Jason.
together. Yeah, exactly.
Freddy
Yeah.
versus
There you
Jason,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're trying to do that. I mean, it's not a big thing nowadays because
Right.
physical media is kind of gone. We do have an album coming out besides the
Nice.
soundtrack. We
Okay.
have an album that is like just all the bands that submitted songs for the movie, and there's like 23 of them. And that's
Sweet.
it's like all over the place. There's video game metal, there's metal, there's rock, there's like all kinds of fun stuff. And we also have the band in the movie, the Virginia Bitches. They have 5 singles on Spotify right now.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that is just like another form of marketing. I just thought it'd be cool if we,
For sure.
we're pushing the band, and
Yeah.
they have songs out there and you can listen to them. And we've had a lot of people give some great feedback on those,
Yeah.
so far.
What it's not a big thing anymore, but I think it's also
We're trying to bring it
maybe a
back
little
if we can.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a little bit underestimated how powerful that actually was, even
So
though,
powerful.
the 90s into the early 2000s, was a really big time for that, which
Yeah.
for a lot of people, I mean, it's not even a specific age group. You're getting anybody that lived through that time. Every one of them loves film and music,
Yeah.
in different kinds. And in the 90s, soundtracks were a
Yeah.
huge thing. Like you said, because physical media is not a thing, it kind of has fallen out. But I think that it's something that will draw people to a film that maybe wouldn't
Coming back.
originally go, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's underestimated how well that can work out for movies still.
Yeah.
Me personally, when I'm going through the story, I'm also thinking about the soundtrack in the back of my mind, and like, what song would fit great with this scene? I don't know if a lot of people do that when they're mapping out their story, but it's hard for me not to, growing up and that being a big deal,
Yeah.
like The Crow is my favorite
Crow.
movie of all time.
Yeah,
So,
The Crow.
that was one of the first biggest, really big soundtracks along with the movie that kind of like got people's
Yeah.
attention type of thing.
That's
So
how I heard about like Korn and Disturbed was Freddy vs.
yeah.
Jason.
Yeah.
Like I was like, wow, this is awesome. And that was like what, 97, 98 when that came out?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I don't know, I forget when, but somewhere around there. But yeah, the soundtrack was so powerful. And I know our soundtrack's pretty cool. Like it's super just a throwback to that time, trying to
Yeah.
bring that back a little
Uh,
bit.
There's movies that people were like, yeah, that wasn't a good movie, but that soundtrack was badass.
Yeah.
There's plenty
Yeah.
of movies that did that too, and so yeah, that's really cool that to see that people bring that in, and take that chance, because it's dangerous taking chances. This film's your baby, so it's hard to take those chances on whether or not that's going to work. But like you said, you're making a film that like you want to see,
Yeah.
which is a really smart way to do things because there's a lot of people that want to see that very same film. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think the problem with Hollywood is they're making films that they think the audience wants to see,
Yeah.
yeah,
and that's the
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
I'm making a film. I don't I don't care about the audience. I'm making it for
Yeah.
myself. I'm making it,
Well, yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah.
I agree with that.
yeah. That Hollywood is very lucky that you have to pay for the ticket before the movie and not afterwards, because
Yes, yes,
they wouldn't be making any
yes.
money.
Uh, yeah,
But
Although
on the other edge of that coin, like you talked about, your FX guy, at the same time, I mean, he's been in there, and so Hollywood does produce really good people out there working behind the scenes, which for me are the really important people that are not
yeah.
on the forefront every time. Because there's a lot of really important people that can make or break a movie behind the scenes, like you mentioned, like on stunts and stuff like that. Marvel, I love Marvel. I'm a huge superhero fan, specifically Marvel.
You
So
too.
obviously the MCU has been a big deal for me. As you mentioned, some of your stunt guys came out of that. And even though Marvel movies have maybe not been the best or as good as they were at
Yeah.
some time, you've still got these stunt guys that did this massive Marvel movie, went and did this small, little independent
Yeah.
horror
yeah,
film.
I kind of come from a FX background too. Like that's, I always remember like I come from the haunt background. I did special effects for years in movies before moving up the chain, but I always remember
Nice.
hearing the stories of like Rob Bottin complaining about, like certain things not being shot, or Rick Baker, like, how come we didn't
yeah,
get this shot? Well,
yep,
for the transformation, because Joe Dante didn't know. And so like I love grew up watching those behind the scenes where it's like, hey, make sure you have enough time, like 5 6 days to shoot a transformation scene with the tiny crew, and get the stuff that the effects guys want to see and that you
Oh
want to
yeah.
see,
Yeah.
because like a lot of times you'll get like a big hotshot director, an amazing Nicotero RBFX type person, and they just don't speak the same language. And for Devour,
right,
it's like
right.
kind of like, that's why Terrifier is successful is Damien Leone. He's from effects. Like he's an effects
Right,
person, and you see all the effects and fucking
Yeah.
Terrifier come through in glory, on the screen.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what we want to see. That's what I want to see. And so that's kind of how Devour is. Like we don't need A-list actors. We need fucking crazy effects. So
Absolutely.
yeah, there you
Absolutely.
go.
There's a lot of unknown talent sitting around out there. And I
that
think
are
Yeah,
people
great.
forget that. I think
yeah,
people forget that all these A-list people they love, 9 times out of 10, their first movie was a horror movie. Like,
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
know?
Also
So,
that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
so you mentioned that you originally started with VFX and special makeup effects. Was that why you got into the industry, or was it kind of
Yeah.
like I'm going to take these steps to get to where you are now type of thing?
Yeah, no, I started out as working at a haunted house, and I was always drawing as well. And I basically submitted all my art stuff to Savannah College of Art and Design, which is in Georgia, in Savannah. And I got a full ride off my drawing for sequential art.
Nice.
So it's like comic books. So I used to
Yeah.
draw like comic books in college. And I
Nice.
just, I love that, and I still draw a lot when I get time, and I do all a lot of my storyboards and stuff and concepts. But when I was in school, I was just like, I had a buddy, he was doing a short film kind of thing, and he was like, "Hey, you want to help me on this?" And I need this monster, and I was like, "Yeah, I got you. This sounds fun." It's kind of like a haunt with a camera. I didn't even know what a camera was, I didn't even care. I just made creatures, and yeah, that kind of turned into a happy accident. And then it brought me into music videos, and I started learning on music videos. And then music videos really took me to the next level with movies. So it's just a weird progression from haunt to this, and to college art, and then all the way up to movies. So
You're not just directing, you're doing all the shit on it. That's another great thing about independent horror is your directors are they usually wrote it, they shot it, they cut it, all that stuff. Like,
we had like 50 days to shoot this movie, and it was like literally we'd shoot 10 and run out of money. And oh, wait, I have to direct a Meshuggah video. Let me take that money, make the video, and then I have all this left over, and let's go do another 10 days. Like that, it's totally that. And I did like all kinds of metal videos in between and some commercials and stuff. But like, I would just take that money and throw it back into the movie. And then the fact that I was shooting it too helped because it's like, telling the actor like, oh, why do we need 6 days for a transformation? I'm like, it's okay. It's gonna be fun. It's a lot of moving around. It's a lot of messing up props, and we just want it to be good, And then when she saw it, she's like, holy fuck, like that was crazy. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get 6 days on a big movie budget. They're gonna put me into 1 to 2 days and
Yep.
rush me. And I was like, I'm taking my time because I don't care and I want it to be dope. And I want to enjoy it first and foremost. And I'm like, we get
Sure.
6 days. And then the other 6 days was to shoot all the kills, and that took forever, and it's just a lot of stunts, I think half of the movie was stunts,
Yeah,
actually.
Nice.
that's one of the
So
things that producers don't understand.
they don't understand.
If you want great makeup effects, you gotta have time for
You gotta
that.
have time.
Because I'm constantly fighting with producers, like, "You can do this in 28 days." No, I know I can, but I wanna do it in
Yeah.
35. I want 35 days.
Yeah. You gotta have the time and, like, I hate being rushed, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and the other tough thing is you have 4 female leads with hair extensions, eyes, things that fall out when it's 10 degrees because it's too fucking cold, and then makeup. And then, we're doing 12-hour days. So by the time they're ready, it's about lunchtime. And then we're ready to shoot. And so it's just like, dealing with that was a first for me. They just take a while to make these vampires look good. It takes a while.
Mhm.
That's why we had multiple teams.
So even though we've been doing a lot of guest spots and interviewing lately, which is not necessarily originally what we started out to do.
Yeah.
Usually we're
Oh, yeah.
doing like movie reviews or deep dives on old movies we love.
That's cool.
So, but we're always curious to know, whoever we talk to, what their more recent things that they have seen that they also enjoy. You like what in horror today is keeping you coming back to the genre. So was there some standout stuff within the past couple of years for you specifically?
Yeah. Past couple years, I would say I just saw Ready or Not 2. That was pretty amazing. That was just super fun, like batshit crazy. That was a fun one. Trying to think of like stuff recently. I actually enjoyed Send Help. I don't know if you saw that. The
Haven't
Sam
seen that
No,
Raimi.
I haven't seen it
Yeah,
yet.
not yet.
It-
We are
I
got a little bit of
didn't
late
think
start
I
this
was.
year.
I didn't think I was too sold on the trailer, but when I saw it, like I'm a huge Sam Raimi fan, and
Hell yeah.
there's all of his style in there, and she's amazing. So it was just like Castaway with fucking horror, It was super fun and weird. There's a lot of weird scenes in that movie, but totally Sam Raimi vibes, and that was
That's
fun.
awesome.
That was unexpected. Oh, The Substance blew my mind. The
Yeah.
Substance.
And the
Substance was
substance.
great. Yeah.
That was great. Really enjoyed The Substance. There's a French horror movie that really fucked me up, called Raw. I don't know if you've seen Raw. It's
Was
about
that
like a
the
veterinarian eating.
Yeah. Yes.
That
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good movie. Yeah.
French makes some fucking wild shit. I
Dude, they're
love the
crazy.
Yeah.
French.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Martyrs is one of my favorite
Fuck, man.
go-to
Dude.
movies. Love Martyrs.
I think Martyrs was one of those movies after watching just like sat there in absolute silence
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
that long. But
Yeah,
Martyrs is the one film that like shut me the fuck up. And I was like,
Yeah.
God,
yeah, Martyrs is
whoa.
if you're not old enough to drink,
Yeah.
you're not old enough to watch Martyrs.
Welcome to Derry. That was pretty refreshing.
Dude, I love that show.
I love that
I
show.
really dug that. Yeah. Starting out, I was like, how the hell are we going to do a show? How's that going to work out? Because I think one of the issues, me personally, I don't mind it, but I think people forget in that universe, it's not always a clown.
Yeah.
Pennywise is just the form,
The form.
that entity has taken and uses a lot on kids. So
Yeah.
I was worried of people being like, yeah, I came here for Pennywise and I'm not getting a lot of it. So I was a little bit worried about it struggling in that aspect, but I was totally invested in all the stuff. I didn't
Yeah.
need Pennywise. It definitely helps, obviously, because Pennywise is
Yeah.
legendary
Well,
in
I
in the genre. But I was really impressed with everything they did with it.
It was interesting to watch Welcome to Derry, and then the next weekend would be Stranger Things, and then because
Right.
I'm a huge Stranger Things fan, but I feel like
Oh
they
yeah.
dropped the ball on season 5 a little
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah.
and it just got too big. The show got way too big. The first couple seasons are great, and I'm just watching Welcome to Derry, and I'm like, man, I'm loving this way more than Stranger Things. It's losing me.
Right.
There was like a plan
Right.
every 3 seconds, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there's too many fucking plans. Stop with the
Yeah.
plans.
So many. That's all they're doing is planning and
This
planning
is
and
planning the
planning.
whole
They're
thing.
they're filling out episode. Yeah. For me, dude, Welcome to Derry, I did not expect the levels of emotional impact that show
I
ended up
know.
having too. Like with the kid that I'm gonna forget, Richie, is that his name?
Yeah, Richie. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Saving that other girl, and I was like, all right,
I
how
love when he's
and
running at the end. He's just like,
he flips him off.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
it's
then
great.
But in that episode, they revisit it again like 3 more times before the episode ends, and the last one is like that finding the paper airplane in the tree, and I'm like, it's allergies.
Yeah.
I'm not tearing up right now. Like, holy shit, they really.
Yeah.
But Stranger Things this last season,
It's just got too big. You put $500 million in the one
yeah,
season. I mean,
yeah,
it's not going to work. And then they put out the behind the scenes, and the PAs, like, I don't know why they put this out there, but they're like, oh, they don't know what they're doing for the last 2 episodes. They're
yeah,
basically winging it, and they don't have anything written, in their building sets. And I'm like, oh my God, why would they even admit to that? And you totally see it. You're like, where are the main monsters at the end with Vecna that
yeah,
made the show huge? They're all gone.
yeah.
What do you mean?
They're gone. Yeah,
Why are they not here? I want those. Like, I want a massive battle with those guys and then Vecna.
yeah,
And I don't know. I just
yeah.
didn't get that. And
Where's all
Well,
the
that's not,
Demogorgons and the Demobats?
yeah,
Like,
where are
first
all
of
the
all,
fucking bats?
I had a personal score to settle with the Demobats because they
I
fucking took
know.
Eddie from us.
Dude, and that was one of the greatest episodes ever. That whole
So great.
ride, Master, was it Master of Puppets or Ride?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Master
It's just the
Puppets.
way it
Yeah,
was made, and oh, it was so well thought out. And then they get to season 5, and I'm like feeling good about first couple episodes when Will's like holding up Vecna. I'm like, yes, this is good. And then
yeah.
they took a break, and I'm like, why are we
Yep.
taking a break?
Why?
Like, why? And then Welcome to Derry came on. I'm like, all right, oh shit, this is actually better writing
Yeah,
and well thought
yeah,
out storyline, and a story we already loved, just a little better, and good actors. And the 2 young girls were incredible. I can't remember
amazing.
her name. The curly hair. Yeah, they were great.
Yeah,
They blew
yeah.
me away.
Cool that they made Hollerin a character within that
Yeah,
too, and it didn't feel forced. King already does it himself because
and
they're all from the
Shining.
same
It was like,
universe.
that's so
Yeah,
cool. Let me show
yeah.
you something. I have the only person to have this. I got to work with Shelley Duvall before she passed away,
oh,
Shit.
and I have a video of it. But I was like, she'd never been to a horror con, and we were filming with her, and I brought her an axe to film, and she signed the axe.
nice.
Hell yeah.
So I don't know if you can see that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But that is the only axe she's ever signed. She thought it was hilarious. And I was like, she kind of fell off for 15, 20 years. And I was like, man, you would have killed it at the horror cons. Like, people would be around the block
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah.
know?
It was crazy. Randy and I, we were just recently at Planet Comic Con in Kansas City,
Yeah.
and there's some celebrities there you expected massive lines for. So they had a lot of space for Shatner.
Yeah.
They had a lot of space for Jared Padalecki, but they did not have the space, nor were prepared for Keith David's line.
Yeah.
Because holy, even I knew he was going to be a big attraction for the horror people, but being at an overall comic convention, there was a lot of energy towards other aspects of geekdom, so I wasn't for sure how much horror
love Keith
presence was
David.
actually going to be there. Oh, he's amazing. And I was like, holy shit, like this dude, there was just a line out and around, he was the only person where they didn't have space for what they expected,
Yeah.
to people to be lining up for him to have. It was just insane.
Well, let me put this out in the atmosphere, in the universe, because we are speaking to Keith David right now for since you're a Bad
Nice.
Candy fan, him and Corey Taylor are in talks to do How the Night Receives Them. So
Sweet.
we're talking to Keith David right now, and I'm
All
just trying
right.
to
Hell
lock him
yeah.
in. And
Hell yeah.
Corey's already in, and so How the Night Receives Them is kind of like basically Bad Candy 2, and it just
Nice.
sets up. And obviously the radio station burned down, and Paul died and all that, but Corey's coming back, and Keith David is supposed to be in this one. He's called Scary Larry, and so yeah, hopefully
Okay.
I'm hoping it works out because I love Keith
Huh.
David. He has the script, so we're gonna throw it in the universe that he enjoys it and says yes.
Right. Well, yeah,
Sweet.
let's hope that
That would be
happens. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to lock him.
having Keith David on the radio in a radio station. Just
So good.
it's giving me vibes of not the remake, but the original Vanishing Point.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Wolfman Jack vibes, just like a
Yeah,
great radio disc jockey.
yeah, and he's got that
And
voice.
he's got that voice.
Yeah.
And Andrew Devoff is in it too. He played in
Oh, amazing.
Wishmaster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've had him on too.
We've
Yeah,
shot
yeah.
his scenes already. He plays
Nice.
the surgeon of Salem, and basically there's a serial killer named the Surgeon of Salem, and he plays the villain in the story. And we shot
That's
this
awesome.
actually. Well, it's funny because there was a SAG strike, and this is a SAG movie. So we were shooting this movie, and then the SAG strike happened, and then we shot 8 days of How the Night Receives Them and had to stop. And luckily, we finished Andrew Devoff scenes, so
Good.
he's done. And then I was waiting around for like 4 months, and we had already had a script for Devour, and I started pitching Devour, and I'm like, I don't need any SAG actors. We're gonna go fucking non-union and make Devour, and that's exactly what
Yeah.
happened. And so now I've started to come back for the third movie, How the Night Receives Them. So yeah, we're prepping that right now and getting that ready and
Hell yeah.
trying to search out actors and fill the spots. And yeah,
Absolutely.
it's coming together, but it's partially shot. It's 25% shot. Andrew Devoff is incredible. Such a
That's
great
awesome.
actor.
He's so
So
good. Like, I know everybody, knows him from Wishmaster and being the Jin, but like that guy is such a talented guy. I think people just don't remember him being on Lost and some other
I
stuff he's
know.
done,
Yeah.
especially when he's younger and in movies like late '80s, early
Air Force
'90s.
One.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's a great actor. But when we met him, we talked to him and interviewed him at Nightmare Weekend in Des Moines 2 years
Nice.
ago ish.
2 years ago.
It just blew me away. Meeting him in person was like he was just like the most gentle and
Yeah.
wonderful human being
Yeah.
to talk to. He's just so calm and chill and
It
wonderful
was
and
so funny
gentle.
because him and Keith David have like just a crazy voice. And I
Yeah.
remember he flew into Atlanta and we shot for like 6-7 days. And the thing was, we had to drive him to a Comic-Con in Tennessee. And so I'll just never forget being on a road trip with Andrew Devoff, and he's like,
Oh my God.
"Hey, Scott, I
my
think we need
God.
to get some gas." And it was just the way he would talk. I'm like, I just want to hear this man fucking just speak. His
Right?
voice is so deep,
Yeah.
And just fucking, I'm on a road trip with Andrew Devoff, taking him to some horror con in Tennessee. Like fucking
That's
hilarious.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it up here, but he made a little thing out to the
Yeah,
podcast
yeah.
specifically. So
That's
he wrote that
awesome.
out to the podcast. So
Yeah, we
really,
didn't even
really
even
liked him.
ask him. He's like, hey,
No, he
yeah,
That's
he
so
just
cool.
he just
Yeah.
grabbed one and wrote it for us, which is
Yeah.
is fantastic. I would have happily paid for any of this stuff. But
Yeah.
again, with the horror community, like even though we're the scary people, like everybody is just so overly loving and
Yeah.
kind to each
Right.
other that like just stuff like that happens.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Did he tell you about the werewolf film that he wants to do?
No, he didn't. He didn't. No.
Yeah.
This was a cool idea.
Yeah.
Gave me some of his beer. He has like a beer company. And
Really?
he brought
Yeah.
some beer from I forget where. He has like some beer or winery or something. He gave us like a bunch of like 3 cases. I was like, hell yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Packer
That's
that
awesome.
brings you beer.
I was
Right?
like,
and we
what?
can't complain there.
I was like, I thought we are paying you. Yeah, this is cool. So nice. So I love when people
Yeah.
are just cool to work with,
Yeah.
Makes it more fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm sure you've been on set with assholes. So
Yeah.
it's always
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Not a lot, but it happens. It definitely
it does.
happens.
Narcissism runs rampant sometimes on some sets. I've been lucky to much work with really Emilio Estevez. Okay.
Well, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so people like that, I was on one set where I couldn't stand the director, I
Yeah.
couldn't stand the writer,
Yeah.
narcissist, misogynist, like
Damn.
and I was on the set as production designer, and the last day of shooting, the writer producer calls the police station and it's like, "Hey," like the night before, "as many police officers tomorrow morning as possible to come down here and do a raid, and we'll film it and everything." And he didn't tell anybody that this was happening.
Oh, man.
And I was so ticked off. I'm like, "We don't have anybody ready. We don't have act." But the police show up, knocking on the door, shooting in a villa, and we're all living in that villa, So, I mean, it
Yeah.
was great. It was great. Police come knocking on the door. It's like, "Hey, we're here for the shoot." So the UPM comes, is like, "Hey," knocking on my door. "The police are here because they're gonna be in a shot or what." I'm like, "What?" This was like at 6 o'clock in the morning or something. So there were 2 or 3 police cars, 5 officers and everything. The writer shows up and I'm like, "Well, what's going on?" And like, "Oh, we got the," and he just writes this in the back of his head. It's like, "Oh, yeah, we're just gonna have cops come in and raid the place."
Wow.
I'm like, "Okay. Do we have an armorer to go ask to go look at their weapons to make sure they're not,"
Yeah.
and
Do a
and
safety check.
yeah, yeah. And he's like, "No, they're cops. I mean, they," and I'm like, "Oh my god."
Man.
I walked out, I introduced myself, and I said, "Hey, I'm the armorer. I'm just now finding out about this."
Man.
And I'm like, "I apologize, but I know your guns aren't loaded, but I need to check every one of them." And they're
Yeah.
like "Thank you. Thank you. We," like, "what are we getting ourselves into here?" There's
Yeah. That's
nobody coming out
sketchy.
to check weapons or anything. Like, they had real weapons. I vowed I would never work with those 2 ever again. And that was 2 years ago. And
Oh, man.
the film's not out yet. It's not
Oh,
even
man.
edited. Not even edited yet. First time director, and
Oh,
I ended up directing scenes that he was in. Jeremy London's in the film. Nia Dune is in the film, and I love Nia. She was awesome. After it was over, I kept joking around during the making of it. This would make a great movie. Just the making of this movie.
just the making of this. Yeah.
I wrote a script called 20 Days in Hell. The script is a horror comedy. I sent it to Nia and a few other of the cast members. And Nia's like, "I have to do this movie. We have to do this movie. However, we got it. This got to get this funded because we have to do it because it's going to be cathartic for all of us." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "That's why I wrote it. It was cathartic for me to write." My UPM on that UPM on if we make if we make this film,
Yeah.
she came up with this great idea. She's like, It's kind of confusing because there's 2 films within one film,
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have the director, 2 of the actors cancel on him, we're shooting their scenes today. What they're gone. The director's like, "Okay, let's just have Nia Dune play all 3 characters, her character and these other 2 characters." It snowballs. It's hilarious. It's funny. When you're on a set like that, it's a horrible experience, except
Yeah.
you walk away with friendships, and something great comes out of it sometimes. My UPM came up with this idea how Jeremy London isn't really doing much acting right now. She's like, "What if we cast Jason London to play Jeremy London?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, that just fits so well." That's a great idea. Irina, hats off to you for that.
That's funny.
But yeah, can't wait to make that one. And then I have a werewolf script also that
Cool.
I want to do called Sanguinexus, and everyone's like, "What?" Even my manager, he calls it the script I can't pronounce. Sanguinexus. That's a werewolf script, and I'm reading through it and everything. I'm like, I didn't write a transformation in this at all because
Oh,
it's not that kind of movie.
yeah.
And
It's cool. No, I love filmmaking. Yeah. No. Making a film is fucking hard. Like,
it
it's
is,
not easy.
yeah,
It's organized chaos. It's
it
dealing
is.
with personalities. If you're directing a movie, you're usually like a chaos babysitter, like a professional
Mhm, mhm,
babysitter.
mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
just, it's fun. It's managing crazy motherfuckers, talented
Mhm.
motherfuckers who don't like each other and they have to work together. And then you have
Yeah.
actors.
Yeah.
And so that's the tough part is making a cake with like TNT and like trying to make sure it's edible is the tough
Yes.
part.
Yeah.
and then, actually surviving the shoot and, finishing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can finish a film. So yeah, hats off to anybody making a movie. So
My first film was Psycho Killer
okay.
back in 2012.
Yeah.
Not the new one that came out. And people are like sending me messages, "Hey, you hear this new there's a Psycho Killer movie coming out." And they're sending me pictures of the killer. And they're like, "You should sue him."
Nah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, it looks a lot like the Juggernaut in my film. And why would I sue him?"
Yeah.
Because people are gonna go online, they're gonna look up Psycho Killer, they're gonna see my film right there on YouTube for
Yeah.
free. Go watch my film.
Yeah.
It took me 2 years from beginning
Yeah.
to release. I have issues with it because I'm my biggest critic.
Yeah. 100%. I think we all are.
If you're an artist, if you draw, if you paint, if you play guitar, if you write music, it's all art, and it's for the most part, it's subjective too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So either like it or you don't. It's like comedies. Comedies are very subjective. I'm at home on set,
Yeah.
and the day I dread on set on a film where I just fall in love with the cast and the crew and everything.
Yeah.
The day I dread is that last day.
Yep.
That's usually when, like, the Martin Cove type people well, I'm just saying Marty did this. It's like, 2 wee or 5 weeks on set with Martin Cove, and he comes up to me the last day, and he hands me this autographed photo of him
That's cool.
from, Rambo 2.
Wow.
Yeah, and, I mean, personalized little note to me and everything, and I'm tearing up, like, "Oh, crap," and Camden Toy. Did you know Camden Toy? Well, he passed away a few years
I
back.
don't know.
He was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Oh, okay.
always in makeup. Him and Doug Jones were really good friends.
Love Doug Jones. Yeah.
I love Doug too. He's another gracious actor. He loves his fans. He loves acting. He loves playing creatures. He loves playing characters. I met him. Actually, Camden introduced me to him. One day I get this is like 2000. I think it was like 2012, 2011, maybe.
Yeah.
I worked with Camden on a film in 2005, and we just kept in touch. I get a message from him. He's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm in my apartment." "Where are you?" And he's like, "I'm at Horror Hound in Cincinnati."
Oh my God.
And I'm like, "Holy crap." So I leave and I go to Horror Hound. I walk in, I run into Tom Savini first, and I'm like, "I used to call you when I was like 17 years old." And, and so I'm like, "But I'm here to see Camden." I go up to Camden, and here's the kind of person Camden was. He's like got 10 people he's signing autographs, and he sees me and he's like to everybody, he's like, "Hold on, hang on. This is the guy that you should be signing autographs for you."
Oh, that's
And he
cool.
pulls me over here and he's like, that's just the kind of person that he was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
And the first thing I say is, I'm like, right next to him, he's like, "You've never met Doug Jones?" To the people at the table, he's like, "Hang on for a minute. Just please bear with me."
Oh man.
He takes me over and he's like, "Doug, this is Randy Faber." I worked with him on this production. He did my makeup and everything like that. Doug is just like, "Hello." We're talking. This was at the time where Del Toro was trying to get Frankenstein made, and Doug
Yeah.
was cast as a creature. So I'm like the Frankenstein fan that I'm in. I'm like, "Tell me about the makeup. Tell me this and that." And
Yeah.
they already did. They sculpted the makeup already.
Okay.
And I'm like, "Okay, what did it look like?" And he's like, "Bernie Wrightson, Frankenstein creature."
Nice.
Is what I was very grotesque and everything. And I'm like, "Ah." But they didn't do a makeup test on Doug or anything. And I was sad to hear that Jacob Elordi was playing the creature, and such a great
I
guy.
loved Hellboy, Shape of Water. Doug
Yeah.
is so great.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
is. He brings so much personality.
Boy's another movie that blows my mind. Why did we never get Del Toro's third movie? We get like two
Yeah.
remakes, and I'm like, why are we
Yeah.
getting these remakes that are the last one was awful. I don't even know what that was.
Because fucking Hollywood is full of a bunch of fucking morons.
I think even that last Hellboy movie was somewhat independent-esque. It wasn't a
Yeah,
huge,
super
huge Hollywood
independent.
production. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But Del
Yeah.
Toro wanted to finish. Like he
He
literally
did.
wanted
Yeah.
to do that. And how are you gonna say no to Del Toro? It blows my
Yeah.
mind.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Ron Perlman was on
Ron-
board. Everyone was on board for it.
Yeah.
I was on board for it. So I'm sure Craig was on board for it. And I'm sure you
Of
were on
course.
board for it.
Oh, Del Toro's my top for sure. He's up there, like as far as
He's amazing.
Yeah,
I love Del Toro.
the Cabinet of Curiosities was amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was
Yeah,
great.
the Netflix
Yeah.
ones. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were great.
Yeah, and you wouldn't
Those were
have who produced Welcome to Derry and Mama. Del Toro discovered him. I won't talk about Flash, but he did do that. He's great though. Bichetti, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andres, I think. Craig and I have worked on two 48-hour films.
Yeah, 48-hour film hustles.
Yeah.
Yeah, 48 hour. That's
Yeah.
cool.
There's a
Yeah.
horror one they do in our area that we do every year. And
Fun.
it's fun.
Yeah.
Their official theater release date for Devour yet?
Yeah, they just said last weekend of July or first week of
July.
August. They're trying to
Gotcha.
figure it out right now.
Cool.
But yeah, it'll be under Epic Pictures, who did like Terrifier, and I think they just had Mortuary Assistant come out.
Yeah,
A new movie that just came out like a couple weeks ago. But yeah, it'll be out in theaters, and then they want to drop it in October, streaming wise. So that's perfect
Nice.
timing.
Perfect timing. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I know they're like talking to Shudder and a couple other places already. So
Sweet.
we'll see. I don't know yet, but it'll be one of them for sure.
Awesome. Well,
So-
fingers crossed for Shudder for you, because I mean that's always
Yeah.
a great place to
Yeah,
have your
that'd be
shit
cool.
end up on.
No, yeah, I'd love
So
that.
yeah. Well, man, I mean, we're extremely excited for you, and we're overjoyed that you took the time to chat with us. We like focusing on a lot of independent horror for. Yeah,
If you want
absolutely.
to have us back on with some of the
Yeah,
actors, that'd be fun.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
I can get Caitlin and John pretty easily.
Perfect.
Yeah.
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 We'd love to have them on. Like I said, we'll take whoever wants to join on and chat about stuff. Absolutely.
Don't
Just
tell John that I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I want to see his face when he realizes, hey, wait a minute.
I know
Yeah,
that
for
guy.
sure.
Yeah.
Once we've had you on, you're part of the Macabre
Yes.
family. Whoever's listening, watching, however you're checking this out, definitely be looking out for Devour to be hitting theaters and then streaming around the perfect Halloween time. And
Yeah,
then obviously go check out Bad Candy. It's
yeah.
perfect movie for Halloween, but I mean, it's a perfect
It's a-
movie for any time,
Yeah.
because Halloween
It's-
movies
it-
are for every time
Yeah,
of the year,
that's-
in my opinion. But
Yeah, for sure. And it's on Tubi, so
Yeah.
yeah,
watch
it
it
is
for
on
free.
Tubi. I didn't ask your favorite. Do you have a favorite horror movie?
I got a couple. I would say
That works too.
I don't know. I would say it's definitely like Aliens. I would say is a perfect
Hell
horror
yeah.
movie.
There you
I
go.
mean,
Yes.
it's so fucking. If that movie came out now, it'd make $1 billion. You
Dude.
know, it's just perfect. All mother versus mother, human mother versus alien mother at the end, and just when you think the movie's over with, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm ready for credits, and oh wait, she's on the fucking ship, and now we have a fourth act, and you
Yep.
know, it's just I call
Hell
that
yeah.
the James Cameron ending. You know,
Yep.
it's like you think it's over, but I would say that if I had another movie, I would say like Monster Squad is definitely.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah, we got Monster-
I thought with
I forgot
Monster
that's
Squad
back there, too.
constantly.
Oh,
Shit,
dude.
yeah, it's behind your head.
We
I didn't see that.
Andre and Ryan signed that one for us.
That's awesome.
So
I love Monster Squad.
Andre, oh dude, it's like one of my most favorite movies of all time. I watched
Oh, yeah.
that. I wore out 2 VHS tapes when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Andre and Ryan, Ashley, who played Phoebe, and then let's see, Dracula,
Yeah.
a guy that played Gilman, a guy that played the Mummy.
And then Richard
Well,
Decker.
they were all there. They had a bunch of them there. But the Andre and Ryan have their own management where everybody else was all together under one handler, and
That's
he
cool.
was kind of wasn't easily you could talk to him very much, so when we went up and asked, but so we went to sit down to having Q&A of Monster Squad, specifically with like Andre and Ryan Lambert, and she caught us as we were leaving to go sit down with them. She's like, hey, you guys gonna go do that that interview, that sit down? We're like, yeah. And she's like, well, I want to go. And I'm like,
So
well,
we
I'm
went
not gonna stop
back in
you,
the green
like-
room and
yeah, come on back. Like she's like is kind of looking over at the guy, at the handler manager guy, and she's like, yeah, let's go. And so we
Fuck yeah.
kind of stole her for for that too. But we sat
Yeah.
down with all those guys because Monster Squad it's one of those movies that like not only do I love, but like it was like who I am today as a child in my
Oh,
childhood.
yeah.
Monster Squad was my Goonies, because
Oh,
I'm a
yeah.
horror I was a horror kid, so that was like everything to me. So it was really cool talking to guys, and they signed a poster for us, and Andre and Ryan gave us an official Monster Squad member card, and just
Yeah,
little shit like
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
But
it
they
was
were
nice.
so cool and so nice to talk to.
I
So
got
yeah,
to see
Monster
a
Squad.
16 millimeter print at Mad Monster Party. And it was beautiful. All the
Oh,
grain and the
Yeah.
I love it.
projection,
I love it.
and they
Love it.
had to stop the movie halfway and change reels. And it was so
Sweet.
cool. It was so cool. It was just like, oh man, this is probably how it was back then. And it was
Yeah.
just so
Yeah.
fun to
I
stop the
love that
reels,
stuff.
and we got to reload it.
Yep.
And intermission, so cool.
Yeah.
So
I miss that
yeah,
stuff. That was the greatest. Even if it wasn't okay or whatever. Like, I'm a
yeah, it was
cinephile,
Yeah,
don't get me
beautiful.
wrong, but
it was.
there's beautiful in the grit and grime of movies from back then. So yeah.
And
But anyway,
our fourth movie is heavily inspired by Monster Squad. So
sweet.
yeah, it's called I Am the Teeth. So
Oh yeah.
it's after How the Night Receives Them. We're slightly prepping for it end of summer, but it's
Nice.
we're supposed to shoot that in Canada, and
Hell yeah.
it is a solo werewolf movie. My pitch is Monster Squad meets Silver Bullet,
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
but it's a Christmas movie, so it's kind of like
Even better.
thematics, and got some
Cool.
really cool actors signing on to that.
Hell yeah.
Some really cool people, and yeah, I mean, it's like these kids in a treehouse club. Their dogs and cats go missing, and they try to figure out what the hell is going on, and they catch a werewolf. And if you've seen Devour at the end, I won't spoil it, but at the end of Devour, there might be a werewolf that gets away, and ends up in this
Ah,
other movie, maybe,
Okay.
So yeah.
hell yeah.
They all the things connect, and I Am the Teeth and How the Night Receives Them. There's a lot of crossovers to Bad Candy and Devour, and so yeah,
That
that's
is awesome.
so
Hell
it's
yeah.
Monster Squad, Silver Bullet, but like Christmas. So it's kind of fun. Very thematic.
That's so awesome. When you find Randy and I hiding outside where you guys are filming just to watch it all
Yeah.
happen, don't
Yeah.
arrest us. We're just gonna
Yeah.
be we're just gonna be secretly following you guys around so we can watch you guys film it.
And we're going to Canada for the snow. Like we're
There you
literally
go.
we're trying
That's
to get
awesome.
heavy snow, and that atmosphere, the Christmas trees, the big trees, and we
Hell
just
yeah.
want that like Christmas vibe. But like there's a great werewolf movie I saw. Was the one with the snow.
Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Yeah, Wolf of Snow
Yeah.
Hollow.
Which
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I like the
love that.
movie. I just wanted it to be real,
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
I know the
Yeah.
twist was like it's a dude in the costume, and I don't know. I was just like, fuck, I wanted
That
to be
movie
something different. But the
I
movie
wish
was
it was
fun.
so
Yeah.
good. And that werewolf suit, it always makes me laugh that in the movie it ended up being a suit. And so
Yeah.
it is supposed to be a suit, but somehow that suit is better than
And
almost any other werewolf movie out there.
they were so
It
it was
blows
so
my mind.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my only qualm with the movie, is if it would have been a real werewolf, I
Yeah,
would
it
have
would have
like,
been
hell
awesome.
yeah,
Right,
10 out of
right.
10. But when
Yep.
they had the guy in the suit, I was like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
I
You're
mean,
Yeah.
like,
I get
oh.
why they did it, but so I'm trying to
Right.
fix that with this one. This is a
Okay,
real
good.
fucking werewolf, and
Hell yeah.
snow and blood and snow looks awesome.
Okay.
So
Always,
good.
always.
yeah, so
Hell yeah.
I don't know. That's
That's
kind of my vibe,
exciting.
I guess. But yeah, we'll see it. Prepping that one now. So yeah.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
Scott, it's
Great to
been
meet
such
you.
a blast talking to you, man. We appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
So let you go this time, and obviously
right.
best of luck with Devour. We'll drop.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, see you guys later. Have a good night.
All
All
right,
right.
Scott. You
Thanks a lot.
take care, man. Bye.
All right. Take it easy, guys.